The scale of the task of achieving progress at November's climate change summit in Glasgow was spelled out in London today by President Biden's special envoy, Kerry. His rallying cry was for the world to unite, and that meant America had to work with China. No single country can do it by themselves, he said.
Today in China, so much rain fell so fast on the city of Zhengzhou, it flooded subway trains full of passengers. Henan province saw 20 centimetres of rain in just 1 hour. Meanwhile, wildfires in Siberia continued to burn after record heat there, as Germany today began to clear up and comprehend the scale of the flooding it's just witnessed. The backdrop to US climate envoy Kerry speaking in London.
The climate crisis, my friends, is the test of our times. And while some may still believe it is unfolding in slow motion, no, this test is now as acute and as existential as any previous one.
A significant speech, not just because it represents the US re-engaging with climate change, but because there's so much the world still has to do to avoid dangerous levels of warming.
There is some very good rhetoric, very good words, lots of very fine speeches, even some great targets. I mean, you see that from this government as well. You can't fault them on the targets. But of course, when it comes to the action, it's something else.
On that point, I asked Secretary Kerry about the UK government's plans to licence a new offshore oil project in the North Sea. At the same time, it hosts a major climate summit. What would your message be to the UK government?
I'm mindful of what the IEA has said, that we don't need new oil and gas coal projects. And I think people have to measure the need very, very carefully in making those decisions.
The government told us this evening that any new oil and gas project that isn't compatible with our net zero targets wouldn't get the go-ahead. Today, the UK sizzled on the hottest day of the year so far, but the colossal economic transition our government and Kerry propose will cost us for years to come. Can they expect voters to support it?
I think what people want to hear is that this government is really serious about tackling the climate crisis, and so will support people to make the right decisions, whether that's buying an electric vehicle or walking and cycling more, whether that's switching to electric heating instead of gas heating. It's down to government to make those choices easy and affordable, and that's what people really want to see if they're going to get on board with this.
The most significant challenge to averting dangerous levels of warming is an agreement between rich countries like the US and China, the world's biggest polluter. Today, Mr. Kerry said they were ready to talk.
It is not a mystery that China and the US have many differences. But on climate cooperation, it is the only way to break free from the world's current mutual suicide pact.
If the extreme weather we're seeing now is linked to just 1 degree of global warming, it's hard to imagine what 2 degrees will mean. But that's just what we could see within decades if our leaders and the rest of us can't agree to act fast. Tom Clark, News at 10.